Hi, good evening everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And this little video here is going to be the inaugural video for the channel that I just started. And I thought, let's do something really special to kick things off. So, I got these three beautiful Matchbox Super Kings in yesterday. And I thought this is the perfect opportunity to show them off this inaugural video. Now, Matchbox, as you probably know, in addition to making 1/64 scale cars, they also make 1/43 scale cars. Interestingly enough, these trucks are actually considered 1/64 scale, and I'm going to show you how that's possible. But anyways, let's get things started here. We have on the turntable right now, which, by the way, thank my wife for that wonderful turntable. She bought that for me. Actually thought it was rechargeable, but it turns out it's got to be plugged into the wall. But that's all right. It works great. So this particular model of Super Kings for Matchbox, this came out in 1978. It is I'd say either a 75 or 76 Dodge Monaco station wagon. And it comes with this nice little utility trailer. I've removed the cover so you can see that little detail there. I used to think that maybe possibly this might be like one of those pop-up campers. And they just did it this way because it would be kind of expensive and also probably challenging to fit a pop-up feature in there. The reason I thought that is I looked at these utility boxes and thought that could be a place where you would keep like propane and deep cycle batteries. But either way, it works. It could be either utility trailer, whatever you want to imagine. So this is a very nicely detailed wagon. Matchbox was always known for, very high quality. This has got a tailgate that lowers, as you can see. You got this little roof rack on top there. And I like the fact they made their roof a different color from the rest of the car because that was actually true of the Monaco back in those days. And how I figured out it's probably a 75 or 76 model is if you look at this grill, you car guys are going to know about this. So look at the grill, if I can get the focus in here a little bit. Yeah, you'll notice it has an egg crate pattern. You remember from watching the Blues Brothers, their 74 Monaco sedan had like a bar style grill. So that's why I figured that's the year it was. They got the kind of the larger version of their special wheels on there. And this was a car actually that my brother had back in the day, and I was always really jealous of it. So now I've got it, and it's in mint condition, fresh out of the box. Now I'm going to tell you guys something up front. Okay, I unbox all my cars, including the ones that come on the blister packs. Now, one thing I do is I deliberately buy cars that have compromised or kind of in poor condition blister packs, but the car inside is still mint. That way I don't feel so bad about opening them up. I prefer to open the cars up and have them to be enjoyed and interacting with the displays or whatever else I have going on. All right. So there's the Monaco, and you already saw the little trailer that goes with it. Hooks on just like this, and then this little top snaps on there. And they're just very nice vehicles. Matchbox always made some high quality stuff. All right, let's put that over here. Now let's take a look at this one. Now the trucks, they're so long, there's no way I can be able to put them both pieces on the turntable. So we'll put the cab on there first. All right. This particular truck, actually both these semi-trucks, they came out in 1973 in the Matchbox Super Kings line. This is a Ford LTS series, conventional cab with a Texaco trailer, tanker trailer. And you'll notice there's these little hoses on the side of here. Understand, this is 50 years old. These hoses are actually very stiff and very brittle. The idea is they're supposed to plug in to the side of these ports. So it's like you are pumping the gas. And as you can see, I'm having a hard time even getting them in there because, as I said, it's so brittle and so stiff from 50 years of use. Yeah, I can't even get it in there. So we're not going to be able to demonstrate the hoses, which is not surprising given their age. But at least they are here, accounted for, and intact. That is remarkable in of itself. I'm going to point out something here about these wheels for the dollies. These look suspiciously like the wheels they use on Tootsie Toy cars. I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, this is a toy my brother and I had years ago. My maternal grandfather, he bought a brand new house, actually built a brand new house in 1973, and he bought his grandkids. Well, I was the only grandkid at that time, but he bought us grandkids a whole bunch of toys and stuff in a box. And in that way, when we came over for visits, and we would usually visit for a long time because it was quite a drive to go from our house in Fairless Hills to their house in Montgomery County in Roslyn, Abington area in Pennsylvania. And so we'd stay all day. And so us boys wouldn't be bored. My grandpa had gotten us all these toys to play with. So this is the identical twin, with the only exception being the one we had a yellow grill and not a black one as this one does. But Matchbox did that. They made these variations. You're probably noticing there's a high degree of quality with Matchbox vehicles. This one's got this nice tilting hood. I'll demonstrate that for you. There it goes. And everything that's an opening component on a Matchbox car or Matchbox vehicle always works really nice. And it probably won't show up on the camera because, you know, I might need to get better lighting, to be honest with you. So I'm doing the best I can here. But there's a little script on the driver's side door that says custom cab. And I thought to myself, that's really impressive that even with their 1970s tooling technology, they were able to put that in there. And it's just a really nice truck cab and nice paint finish. Green tinted windows, very sharp. And a trailer, so I'll tell you a little bit. I can put that on the turntable. On the back, it's got a label that says long vehicle. You have to understand, you know, a lot of Matchbox's stuff, because it was all made in England, a lot of their things have European influence on them. So they're going to have those kind of things. Got this little rack here. And yeah, those hoses, man, they are so just dried out and brittle. I remember when this was brand new, the one that my brother and I had brand new, those hoses were so soft and pliable and they would plug right into those ports, no problem. But, you know, after 50 years, what are you going to do? Even though it was in the package, the little window on the package was compromised, so it allowed some air and stuff to get in there to dry them out and everything. But one thing I did like about this is that this snaps into its fifth wheel with a very positive click, as you can see. So that's a really nice truck, and my brother and I used to really enjoy playing with these. We had a lot of fun. So the next one I'll show you, this one's really something because this has got a lot of features. I'm going to show it to you here. All right, so once again, oh wow, it's already coming off. See that? That's what I was going to tell you about. This is also 50 years old, so things are a little bit loose. Now this one doesn't lock positively into the fifth wheel. All right, so here we go. That's a really nice shade of red. Once again, identical twin to the one my brother and I had years ago. This is also from 1973. This is called a Scammel Crusader truck. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Scammel, what the blazes is that? Well, this is a model of truck that was only sold in places like, you know, over in Europe, you know, UK, France, Spain, Germany, all those. They use them over there. These cab-over engine trucks were very popular over there and still are to this day because they're, you know, a little more maneuverable with the narrow, tight streets and roads they have here. You know, in America, we kind of favor the conventional truck a little bit. But this is hauling what's called a container trailer. And, you know, in America, our container is one big, long one. But over in Europe, they do these kind. So these basically unsnap from the chassis of the trailer frame. And then there's these opening doors that are on the back of this. I'm going to open these up for you. Okay. They're very stiff because, as I said, even though it's 50 years old, this is brand new, never played with. I'll show you that real quick. Put that there. And let that spin around there. The other one is identical. It opens up as well. And then, as you can see, the frame of the trailer. This is what it looks like when it's empty. Very nicely done. You know, they use high-quality paint and everything. So, yeah, I remember this being extraordinarily loose, which is unfortunate because they used to fall off all the time. But my brother and I didn't care too much. We just wanted to play it. As you can see, it's a very nice vehicle. They use these, you know, big version of the super fast wheels. Are very nice. Got the chrome stacks. It's very sharp. So I'm now going to show you what I was talking about earlier. So you look at this truck, you look at that Monaco. Obviously, if this Monaco was scaled this truck would be huge, okay? Now, you take a 1/64 scale car. Okay, I'm going to use this little Mercedes as a demonstration. You take a 1/64 scale car and put it next to that truck. Look at that. That's perfectly scaled. That's about the size that that car would be to that truck in real life. And the other cool thing is, because of that, this little car fits just perfectly inside that shipping container. My brother and I used to do this all the time. We were playing with this. Put them in the shipping container, run them around. This is a car I'll show you in the future. I'm just playing around right now just to show you, you know, how the scale works and everything. But yeah, I was always a big fan of these Super Kings, and I'm happy to have some, and I'm happy to show them off to you guys. And anyways, so that about will finish things up here. I don't want to make these videos too long. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed these beautiful Super Kings. And I'm going to be adding them to my collection, put them in some display cases and such. And we'll see you next time. Take care.